We're going to talk today about 10 ways you might be ruining your life without realizing it. Self-defeating behaviors are awful, aren't they? Do you find that you are like self-sabotaging yourself sometimes? You find that you are your own worst enemy, that the way that you think is actually what's preventing you from getting what you want? Yeah, frustrating, right? Well, today we're going to talk about how to get over, well, first of all, how to recognize these self-defeating behaviors. We're going to look at a list of self-defeating behaviors that are holding us back and what we can do to change them. We're talking today about 10 ways that you may be ruining your life. You might be in self-sabotaging mode and you might not even be realizing it. So we're going to go through this list of self-sabotaging behaviors that are actually causing this to happen in your life. But first of all, I want to share with you just a quick story. If you know the movie or the play The Producers, this is kind of what we are unconsciously trying to do in our lives. So the movie or the play of The Producers is really kind of fun. It's these two guys, these shyster, is that the right kind of word? Anyway, they want to just make a bunch of money and they don't want to do any work, and they come up with this idea that if we get investors to put a bunch of money into a play that flops, then we only have to produce the play once and we get to take all the money to ourselves and we make bank. It's going to be awesome. So they're excited about this and they create this play that is going to be awful. I mean, they have a song in there called Springtime for Hitler in Germany. You know, I mean, who's going to go watch a play about Hitler? And they get this horrible, horrible, horrible actor who can't act at all to play Hitler. Well, because they worked so hard to make it so bad, it actually turns on its end and becomes successful and ruins them. It's this wonderful thing, but it kind of just is a playful way of looking at what we're doing in our lives. So often we are self-sabotaging. We get into these ruts, these thinking patterns that don't serve us very well, and they keep us stuck. You know, these repeated fail cycles. I call them these invisible turnstiles, or you get on this invisible merry-go-round that just keeps you spinning in the same place and not getting where you want to go. So we're going to talk about those 10. First, well, the 10th one is the negative inner chatter. Do you have those voices in your head that are just always putting you down? They're always criticizing you. Go to take a step forward and they start telling you, you can't do that, or you're not smart enough for that, or nobody's going to recognize you for that. You start telling yourself all of these reasons why you can't do it, and it's this negative inner chatter that's going to keep you stuck. So number 10, you really want to get rid of that negative inner chatter. You want to recognize that it's there and get rid of that, okay? Now the number 9 is actually very close to that. It's the prophet of doom voice that comes in your head that says, Scott, you can't do that, you will fail. Or like, you get this vision in your mind about some horrible thing that's going to happen to you if you take the risk, if you take the step, if you get out there and your real full self. If you do these things, this prophet of doom voice or image or idea comes into your mind that shows how horrible it's going to turn out for you. Well, you know what? If you really pay attention to what the prophet of doom voice is saying in your head, it's never that bad. It's never excruciatingly painful. You are not going to die. It's not going to turn into this horrible thing. But this prophet of doom just forecasts these horrible things happening to you. So you got to recognize that and change that. Okay, so what do we call this? Number 8? Number 8 is when you get in, this is about, these self-defeating lists, these self-defeating behaviors, and it's saying no when you want to say yes. Have you done that before? I remember one time I was in college, I was invited by some friends to go spelunking, to go caving. And it sounded so cool. I'd never done that before, but it sounded a little risky too, and I didn't really know the people, and I was a little bit nervous about doing it. And I said no. But then I caught myself, and they were getting ready to leave, and I said, you know what? I'd like to do that. Can I go with you? Yeah, you're still invited. Come on, Scott. And we got to rappel in to this to this cave that they actually had sealed off. Somebody had a key to go in. It was this amazing experience, but I remember saying no. I remember saying no, and I wanted to say yes, but then I'm so glad that I caught myself and was able to have that wonderful experience. When do you say no when you want to say yes? When do you get into these self-defeating behaviors where you're getting caught in that? Think about that and catch yourself next time you do that. Now, the next one, number 7. Number 7 is the opposite. It's saying yes when you want to say no. When people are repeatedly asking you to do stuff for free, do stuff just because they know you're going to say yes when nobody else would say yes. And what ends up happening, and it's great to be able to say yes, it's great to be able to serve, it's great to be able to help. But if it's not aligned with your core values, if it's not what you intend to do, if it's not the direction that you are going, then you're saying yes to something over here when you want to be over here. Does that make sense to you? If you are intentional and deliberate about what you want to create in your life, you're going to have this plan and this path for you to go on, and you're going to recognize when things are not on that path. But if you say yes to everything, you're going to get so distracted, you're not going to get very far on your path. So number 5, very close to that, closely tied to that, is being a people pleaser. Why do you do this? Why do you say yes when you want to say no? It's because you want to be a people pleaser. You want to help people. You want to be liked by them. And that's important. You do want to have that. But which is more important? The direction you've set, the intention you've set for your life, or this idea of being liked by everyone? Okay, you got to weigh that out. But if you're deliberate and intentional and have created a life vision for yourself, and catch some of the other videos to show how to do that, if you've got that, you really want to hold on to that, and you don't want to get into these self-sabotaging behaviors that keep you from where you want to go because you're pleasing people and trying to be liked and trying to make them happy. Okay, now number 4. Number 4 is a super important one. This is a great concept to understand, and that is believing that your value goes up or down. For instance, if I'm late going somewhere, I can quickly go, oh, they're going to hate me, or I'm going to, you start getting all these voices in your head where you think I'm less than I would have been if I were here on time. Or maybe you start to think, I don't know, you have all these things coming through your head, right? That things that happen, and you think that if I do this, or anyway, that my value is going to go up or down. I'm either going to be a better person or I'm going to be worse. But it turns out that our value is always the same. It's our perception of our value. I don't think I'm explaining that very well to you, but just understand that your value doesn't change. Your value is always the same. I mean, if I had a $20 bill and I crinkled it up, even if it's crinkled up and I straighten it back out, does it lose its value because it has all these wrinkles in it? No, it has the same kind of value. No matter if you believe you're damaged, if you believe that you failed in the past, or whatever you've got going on in your mind or in your life, as a crinkled up $20 bill, you still have the same value as if you were crisp and clean. It's the same way with your life. So if you believe that your value goes up and down, that's going to be something that it's going to be self-defeating. It's going to hold you back. Even if you believe your value can go up, because what you're going to be focused on is the fact that it's not up right now, that my value is low and I got to do something to be worthy, to be worthwhile, to be valued, to be cared for, to be, a contributing member of society. Like, you're going to be so focused on that rather than I am valuable right now. I am worthy. I am abundant. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of share that with you. So number 3, we're going to jump to. Number 3 is not getting enough sleep. We have been conditioned by society to believe that the harder you work, the better you are, the more important you are. And it's really not true. The more we overwork ourselves and get tired and frustrated, the less good our decisions are. The less we're able to really help. The less we're able to be our true best full selves. The more we're operating from scarcity, physically as well as emotionally and spiritually. The more you're able to calm down and act and respond from a state of peace and assurance and understanding, the better you're going to do. And you can't do that if you're not getting enough sleep. Treat yourself kindly. Let yourself get ample sleep at night so that you can be refreshed and so you can be your best full self. Number 2 is staying in a toxic relationship. Now, I love relationships. I love marriage. I think marriage is the best thing in the world, and I am the biggest advocate for marriage. In fact, I have a friend that's losing his marriage right now, and it is just eating away at me. I wish he would listen to me and hear some of the things that I've discovered. Relationships are so awesome. Sometimes, though, you do get in a toxic relationship. And I'm not saying marriage, but I'm saying you get in a relationship that is pulling you down and causing more harm to you. Don't stay in those kinds of relationships. It doesn't mean that you have to leave that. You know, you are going to be the best judge in your situation with what's going on, but it means that you need to understand where there's toxicity in your life and in your relationships. I just went to a wonderful conference, and they talked about this other conference where these people had learned, it was a marriage conference, where they had learned to get along better, and they had started doing storytelling with each other to figure out how to create the kind of marriage that is fantastic for both. What a wonderful idea. There are a lot of things you can do to change a toxic relationship. Sometimes it's leaving a toxic relationship. Sometimes it's fixing it. Sometimes it's fixing yourself so that you have a better understanding of that toxicity, what it's doing to you, what it's doing to others. And a lot of times it's cleaning up the toxic mess in our own lives, in our own minds, that really helps change that for others. Now, the number 1 self-sabotaging behavior thing that you may be caught in, and that is trying to fit in. And this is something that happens to us ever since we were small, ever since we were young. I mean, when we were really young, we were our true best full selves. We showed up and we loved who we were, and we loved the things we could learn. We were brave, we were courageous, we were inventive, and we had all these amazing things going on in our lives. And then as we got beat up in life, we started looking around to see what everyone else was doing, and we tried to fit in. We tried to be just like them. And that's not what you need to do. You need to be you, the best full version of you. So if you're looking at how you may be ruining your life right now, it may be one of those 10, maybe multiple of the 10 self-defeating behavior lists that you want to get rid of. First of all, recognize that you've got that, then start eliminating those from your life so that you can be the best full version of you. What can you add? Now, are you ready to join the conversation? Are you willing to add your voice, your thoughts, your ideas, your impressions? If so, of course, the best place to take action is at scottwilhite.com, because if you join me for a free web class, you will receive a copy of my Purpose Planner, the tool you've been missing that will help you uncover your purpose. You can totally do this. Your roots produce your fruits. Choose your beliefs and pick your identity. It is choice, not chance, that determines your reality. See you next time.